Hey guys, it's 8 o'clock today on webinar Wednesday. I do appreciate you guys showing up, and for those who are early. So if you are watching this, we always do a comment, kind of like a comment bash, so we can kind of get an idea who's here. Let's see. Somebody said I was sounding like Darth Vader. Oh yeah, by the way, Jerry, I did not realize that my microphone was on, so I sound like Darth Vader. It was not by means, did not mean to, that's for sure, but I'm still trying to set up, so I got half my brain here, but we're about to kick it live here, which we're live. But if you can hear me, can you comment in the box below? If you look below the video here where it's live, I'm actually about to comment. I'm about to say, hey guys, comment here. And you're going to see that comment right at the bottom there, where I'm telling you, I'm showing you where to comment. Let's see if we get any comments back. We're kind of waiting for everybody to show up. Some are slower than others, so I'm giving everybody a little bit of time. So yeah, we're about to kick it off here in just a few minutes, so don't worry, don't go away. If you know anybody who could learn from this is basically what we're going over here is the marketing strategy, which is the checklist, an email that I sent, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. It's a list of things that you should be doing to pretty much cover the marketing square and covering all corners of your marketing strategy, because we're about to go over pretty much what I call marketing saturation. And unless you do most of these things, if not all of them, your marketing will have some holes in it. So and you definitely don't want that. So if you could comment below, that'd be great. Sounds good. Looks like we are getting some feedback here. That is wonderful. And it is 8:03 Eastern time. And I do appreciate you guys coming up today and watching the marketing strategy. And we're going to be going over the list that I sent just a few weeks ago. And I'm going to try to copy and paste that list. And also, I'm going to try to turn this into an ebook here for you as well. So you can download this if you want to use this in a PowerPoint, or if you want to, whatever you want to do with it, you can use the slides for whatever you want. I give that free to you. So you'll be able to get each slide in an ebook form. And if you need any other resources, let me know. I'll be glad to help you out more than I can. So however I can do that, definitely want to do that there for you. So it is 8:03. We're going to give it about 2 more minutes, and we're going to be kicking it off. And like I said, I do appreciate everyone showing up here. And by the way, Todd, if you said, am I in the right place? You better believe you are in the right place in Market 1K, where you control your marketing. And we're going to go over that checklist. Todd, I'm glad you was able to make it today, because I think last time you was not able to, and we surely did miss you. So it is a pleasure to have all you guys who are commenting here. And if you're watching this, and if you didn't get the notion, make sure to comment below. It makes things so much more fun to have everyone join in together. And this is a place, and anytime if a question or thought comes to your mind, please post it below. A lot of my content is a lot of times question based, which makes it more in demand for your needs, and it helps me come closer to what's truly challenging in your life, which makes my life and everybody else's life so much better. So you're a little bit input, you don't know how much it means to those around you. So please take advantage of that. But we're about getting started in about 1 minute. It's 8:05. Never mind. We are going to go ahead. That's like some of these guys here are figuring out how to get here. That is wonderful. It's good to have you. So here we are, the marketing direction, the checklist. All right, I'm excited about this. So we're going to go ahead and roll with this. So just in case you're not sure who I am Luke Guy, and I created the course Market 1K. I've got a marketing business, and that's where I get all this information. I've also blogged for some major companies here in the blogging world and in your SEO world, and I'll go over those here real quick. These are just a few people that I have written for, and most of these rank number one. Well, all of these rank number one in some field, one in another, in one place or another. And if you ever need any search engine information, all these places are good for that. If you want to know how to build a blog, go to ProBlogger. If you want to know how to do homemade search engine optimization, go to Search Engine Journal. A lot of it's technical, so if it's over your head, just kind of dig further. But there's a lot of good stuff there. I write there as well. You got Smart Passive Income and all these great places. I don't go over all of that, but it's just some of the places I've been. If you want to look at the articles I've written, you can just type in Luke Guy and then the name of one of these companies here, and you'll find the articles there. All right. And by the way, we got this friendly feedback here, and I want to kind of, if I get these here, I like to post them up to kind of show you that you're not wasting your time by watching these webinars, that you are, in fact, in a good place and people are getting results. For instance, this was Patty Ball, and she said, I wanted to give a shout out to Luke Guy. After listening to his webinar on Wednesday, I started a Facebook ad yesterday. I have already reached a little over 2,100 customers in our area, and I have received 3 inquiries about our services in the last couple of hours. Thank you, Luke. And I followed up with Patty. If I'm not mistaken, she said all 3 did, in fact, become solid customers for her. So not only were they just inquiries and leads, but they were customers in the end. So I appreciate, Patty, if you're watching this, for posting that. It just makes me feel so much better. It gives confirmation to those watching. So it lets them know they're not wasting their time, because, they don't make time anymore. So you want to make sure you spend every bit of time effectively. And by the way, I'm also working with a guy named Jerry. I don't know if you know him. They're at Pest Cemetery as a blog. He's got one of the largest pest control blogs online. And if you didn't know that about Jerry, it's true. And actually, on some of his stuff, he gets more traffic than Orkin does, just based on studies and things. Now, Orkin's a pretty big website, don't get me wrong, but some of his articles get way more traffic than even Orkin does. So he's becoming a resource to the pest control world. And here recently, I worked with Jerry on his stuff, and his traffic just doubled with some implements that we did, including getting 18 pest control companies in America, a post that we wrote. That one post helped double his traffic, and ever since then, he has been riding. He's been doing above average his usual. Not just SEO traffic, but just organic traffic, period. So he has been doing wonderful, and we're going to be implementing more things to increase that even further, because Jerry, we work with him, and we're just glad to be able to help him. Being one of the largest pest control blogs, I definitely try to help Jerry, since he's been so nice to me. And before we get started, this is the one, we're going to go down the list, the marketing checklist here. But before we get started, I wanted just to check and see if we have any questions real quick, and see if everybody's all good, making sure that there's no one screaming at the door and can't figure out how to get in. So that's a nightmare when I see that. So let me see if everybody's good. All right. So it looks like everybody's good and everybody's pretty much found a way in. All right. So here we go. And by the way, if you're just getting in, we're about to get started on the marketing checklist, and we're going to go over, I think it's 19 things, over 19 things of your marketing list that you can do to fill in the gaps and the holes, and to make your marketing so much more effective. When you do one, it helps the other. Now, this is what I've got here. Number one thing, and in the list that I emailed you about 2 weeks ago, I sent you, I think it was 19 things that you can do. All right. So on that list, number 1 and number 19 had something in common. And we're going to go ahead and get started with this. And that's focus on the networking with other businesses, and to make sure you study your competition. I have talked with people here recently. I've done quite a few interviews with people in the business, including pest control. I've talked with people who own businesses all over. And one thing that you can do and you wonder, should I go after residential or should I go after homes? I mean, residential or businesses, commercial accounts. Well, if you're looking to make more per hour, your best bet is going to go with the businesses, because people in those businesses own homes. So if you get the business, you get the homes, and that's one subject I talked with Mr. Timothy Leatherman. We talked about how he had built his business, and that was one of the ways that he did it, was that the fact he went after the businesses, and then in fact he did get the homes. So I appreciate you, Mr. Timothy, for being there for us, and giving us that great interview. If you are watching this, and so what you can do is focus on networking with other businesses and to study your competition. So to have those who it's not your competition, and to keep your competition at hands with, what you do is you form an allegiance with these businesses who in fact help you. For give you an example here. You're going in a home, right? You're going inside of a house, and then you'll pass the air conditioning guy on the way out, or you wave at the lawn guy as he's cutting the front yard, or you talking to the pool guy as he's fixing the filters on the pool. These people surround the people that you're after. Okay, so these are the kind of guys that I would get an allegiance with. I would become friends with them. I would get their business card, and I would send them business. So go ahead and right now, if you got a chance, sit down, and if you got a pen nearby, write down the people that you pass by, and in the house of the customer. Because if you start seeing these guys where you're another guy is the flooring company, people who fix appliances, you want to make a list of people who are in and out of the homes of your customers. Because if they're in and out of home, if they are in and out of the homes of your customers, they may be in and out of other people, okay, who are not your customers. And you want to be there. You want to be these guys' friends, because you, in fact, will help each other. Think about it. That's what's making these group pages on Facebook so much stronger. The fact is that we can give each other business all over the country. It's the same way you can do it locally. And that's, in fact, network with the businesses and create something. And it also helps you SEO wise. I don't know if you know that. If you was to build something on your website to where you network with other businesses and you guys link up, you in fact will rank. Now, you don't make it obvious to Google what you're doing, because you're just simply referring the best business, and so the best business in your town. So I wouldn't go pick some sloppy guy and link him on your front page, because it's gonna make you look bad. But if you find a guy who's in the same town as you are and not your competition, and you link up with him and he links up with you, that just means more traffic. That just means more that you're going to get another backlink. That means that you're going to be lifted higher in ranking. That means that you're going to get more traffic. Everybody wins. So by you forming this, you may in fact get each other's business, if anything. All right. So if a guy's got 10 guys on a lawn team cutting grass, that's 10 potential people that you could influence simply because you and the owner were buddies. So number one, focus on networking with other businesses. And number 19, study your competition. So by knowing who your competition is, by knowing your friends and foes, you're going to know who to link up with and who not to link with. And I'm not saying eat up your competition and hate them. I'm not saying that. You're all in it to make money. And then there's plenty of bugs and rats, and there's plenty of grass, and there's plenty of pools, there's plenty of roofs to fix. We ain't got to hate each other. The best man wins, and that's the wonder. It makes us all better. I would hate to be in a city without competition. I just tell you that. It's a scary thing because there's no business there. Number 2, get involved with online groups such as Facebook and forums. Does anybody have any questions here? I don't want to leave anybody out here. Do we have any questions here? Would love to hear from you. If there's any questions here, let me see. Okay. No questions. If you have any questions, by the way, guys, please leave me a comment. Would love to have you. Love to help you in any way that I can. All right. I think we are all good. All right, here we go. Back in the game here. So one thing you can do is get involved with online groups such as Facebook and forums. And I'll tell you this, Facebook is being notorious for having these garage sale pages. A lot of you know this, a lot of you are doing this, and that's good. But one thing you need to do is get involved in, offering, tips, offering things that you can do for them. And I know I've said this, I don't know how many times I've said this, but the fact that you are helping other people, if you see a problem or whatever, and just kind of, just have a, if you're in lawn care, have a lawn care tip or a pest control tip, but you want to make sure, if anything, to be friends with that administrator, because some of these girls or some of these ladies with garage things, they will throw you out quicker than you can blink if they don't approve, and they have the power to do that. It's their group page. So ultimately, number one thing you got to do is be friends with the administrator. All right. There's also Google Plus groups out there that you can type in. You definitely want to be a part of those. There's actually probably more high quality Google Plus groups out there locally than Facebook in some means. It depends where you're at. Uh, and also, you might want to do a Google alert, and it's just type in Google alert in the Google search bar, and in it you can type in, like, if you're in, Atlanta or Miami or New York City or San Diego. If you want to type it, like if you're in pest control, type in San Diego pest control and the Google alert. And Google will email you every time someone writes a new article about pest control. If someone, or if someone asks, spiders, in San Diego, just type in keywords that people would type in when needing your service, and see if you can't link up with these pages and see if you can't get to notice people writing about the content that you're involved with. And that's one way too. You want to get involved online and everywhere. All right. Number 3, get listed in all listings such as Yellow Pages, Foursquare, Bing, etc. I think you've got Dex Media, you've got Hot Frog, I think you've got Axiom, all these on top of my head. You've got Angie's List, you've got Yelp. I'm trying to think of some more. I've got a whole list of them. But anyway, you got the game. You want to be in every single listing that you can be a part of. Yes, all the dumb ones too. Be in every single. Don't worry about the phone calls. You're going to get them anyway. Maybe you can sell a pest control contract or whatever contract. I'm just kidding. You're not going to, but it's okay if you get a phone call. You in your cell phone in an app, you can block that number from calling you ever again if you want to. So that's like a click of a button. So don't worry about people calling you. Once they call and you figure out who it is and you don't like it, block them. So yeah, a lot of these will call you, but you don't have to do their program to get the power of this. But you want to get listed in all listings. I'm not talking about just throw out your name and number and leave. You need to fill out every single thing on that listing that they ask for and make sure that you meet 100% all the qualifications, and that will in fact help you SEO wise, and if anything, instant traffic. And it makes you look consistent across the board. Now, if you have got past SEO guys who have just, raked you over, they've, got all the logins or whatever, and they give them to you or whatever, and now you move. Your address is different on your site as those listings. That will punch you hard. And now you are hurting SEO wise because your listings are inconsistent. If you are needing help with this, you've got places you can go, which is Yext or Moz Local. Yext is 500. Yext is like 100 or a little around $100, which will in fact keep all your listings consistently all at once. So that's the beauty. And so even if that SEO guy did mess up, you can fix all that, but you've got to spend a pretty penny to do that. Now, some of you might not be able to afford $500 just to keep listings consistent. So what you want to do is make sure you get a good SEO guy who can email all these people which the listings are inconsistent with the others, and have them go through there, because he has a way of doing that. And just have him contact each provider and to change that listing, because every listing that you fix will help your ranking. And if you're in a place where traffic's amazing SEO wise, you definitely don't want to mess up your traffic there. So do we have any questions here? Wow, look, let's see. Chronological river. Okay, here we go. All right, Nick. It's okay, buddy. If you're late, that's all right. We're just getting started. All right. So it looks like no questions so far. Boo. Move on to the next here. See that we got to get going with this. Okay. Number 4. Make sure your site is converting at high levels. This is your website, and to improve online traffic. The way you improve online traffic is by filling out all the listings, being involved in all the groups, and writing articles on your website or paying someone to write articles on your website, doing Facebook ads. This is how you improve online traffic. Now, what you do with that traffic is make sure that it's converting at the highest levels possible. And the way you do that is by making your site look amazing. And the way you make your site look amazing is putting money into having it built, really. Because if you're a professional roof builder, good chance you don't know how to make a website because you're spending time building a roof, not building websites. So you possibly want, I mean, and I know you're like, I don't want to pay, crazy money, and you don't have to. But if you want to know, how, about the cost of average sites, you can pay anywhere from I think 500 to the $5,000, and depending exactly what you need. But you ain't got to spend $5,000 to get a good website. You just need to look at that guy and his work that he does. But ultimately, is getting Mobility the call button on the front and making sure that all your graphics is not copyrighted, because a lot of you guys are getting sued because your SEO guy or your graphic guy just slapped some pictures on there from the internet and forgot to let you know that. Now you're being sued for what, $2,000. So it's not worth it. What you need to do is get some good images, some good photos, stock photos, whatever that you have the rights to, and put those on there and take real life pictures. Really put some money into this website, because once you start making $1 million a year, if you ever reach that point, most people spend 10 to 20% of their advertising dollar. That means you'll be spending about $100,000 in advertising. And that's a lot of money to be spending in advertising. And if you're sending that to a website that is junky, what are you doing? You spend 100,000 advertising, but you spend maybe 1,000 or 500 on a website. It doesn't really make sense. You want to make sure that that website is the best looking and is the highest converting. So yeah, make sure that your rates and your bounce rates, that's another thing. If your bounce rates are high, which means if people go to your website and click nothing and click away, your SEO will go down, down, down. So by giving them something amazing to click on, your bounce rates will in fact go down. Your SEO ranking will go up. You get on first on Google and you're happy because people are clicking on your call button and they're wanting to know more about you, and you're making money and all the good stuff. There you go. All right. So number 5, track better of where leads are coming. And I need to tell you something, by the way. If you have a website and you're paying, it's funny, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month in advertisement to this website, and you don't even have tracking installed on your website, why? Why are you doing that? How do you know if things are converting? How do you know what page is doing the best? Um, that's so funny. I've worked with people and they did not have tracking on their site. Now, if they're new, I understand they're new. They just had I'm building the website for them, and they're not, they don't have I had to install tracking myself. But for people who said they had SEO guys work on their website and there's no tracking installed on I'm like, how? I mean, yeah, you can do SEO without tracking, but how do you know what's improved? I mean, I don't think you can really do SEO without tracking. How do you know you're doing good if you don't know the results? So that bumbles my mind. I'm just kind of like, don't know what to say about that. So don't do that. And install tracking on your website. And the way you do that, you've got different, you get different analytics that you can install on your site. And you got Google Analytics. That's a good one. If you're WordPress, then Jetpack is amazing. I would do Jetpack if that's possible. And just track, everybody that comes to your site. Look, see how they got there and all that good stuff. So, yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you track all the leads and where they're coming from. And another thing is to figure where all your leads and sources are coming from. So, for instance, if they're coming from SEO, and you know you're just barely on front page, you know to put more money in SEO. Because you know if you're getting that kind of traffic at the bottom of the page, what would it look like if it was at the top of the page? So, or if you're at the top of the page and you're not getting much traffic, that means that the demand for that keyword is low. So you probably should need to switch keywords or to decrease on SEO or whatever the means you got it, but you just don't know how do you know how to make a decision if you do not have tracking. So people, please install tracking on your website. Number 6, add another source of leads. I know, don't slap your forehead. You know this. Add another source of leads. But I do know some of you guys are depending just on Yelp. And Yelp is just like amazing to you. And Yelp is a great place if you're in the West or, maybe the upper North. Well, in the West, it's going to work best because that's where Yelp spends most of its advertising dollars, advertising its site, because that's where it was created. Yelp was. So yeah, don't depend just on Yelp or don't depend just on Angie's List. Have you a handful of lead machine, make, a couple, lead machines for you and not just one. So if you're depending on Yelp and it's bringing all your customers, all it takes is a larger bidder and your leads cut in half. Could you imagine your leads cut in half this summer? I can't. I want to double my leads this summer, not it cutting back. So if you're in Yelp, maybe in Angie's List. If you're in Yelp and Angie's List, maybe add SEO. Maybe you're doing that and you haven't done Facebook. Get in Facebook. And by the way, Facebook does work. Okay, it does work. And in fact, you got more people on Facebook than you do Google. Now, SEO is so effective because someone types in, let's say they type in best bakery in the Google. Well, they usually click the first 3 people that they see. Well, so they're here to call. Once they go to Google, they're ready to call. On Facebook, you may have 10 to 20 times the people on Facebook, but some of them, they are just there. They're not ready to buy. But if you stay in front of them with Facebook, okay, it's a part of the marketing strategy. You want to be everywhere, okay? So don't just do one, do another as well. To add another source of leads, let it be part of your marketing strategy this summer. Number 7, SEO. Get on the front page of Google is another thing you should do and attract more backlinks. Why? Why do I want to attract more backlinks, you may think? Well, this is the number one way. Google says, you're somebody. People are linking to you. Now, if you're thinking about going to a link farm and spending, $500 to get a million links, you just gave yourself a million links that you've got to delete later because Google will penalize you. And I think it was BMW that did something like this a few years ago, did exactly the same thing. And you could not even type in BMW in the Google search bar and find them. Google would not allow it because BMW was being bad and buying links instead of earning links. So yeah, don't do that. And if you think you're going to get effective SEO by hiring someone like overseas in India for $50 a month, you're going to be doing yourself more damage than good. You're pretty much paying them $50 not to get on Google. And anybody that guarantees a week, okay, that they're going to put you on the front page, don't believe them because Google don't even do. I mean, Google doesn't even know you can do that. So yeah, Matt Cutts, he's the spam director, would never recommend you buying links, and if you do, you will get a powwow. So focus on SEO and figuring out ways to attract backlinks. And you do that by writing. You do that by being more resourceful. You do that by getting more involved in your community. You do that by commenting on people who are in, by getting with the press, the newspaper, and just find amazing ways to get in front of people. So do we have any questions today so far? I'm just checking every now and then. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, so we got some questions here. I got a guy here that says, you mentioned Yext. What was the other site? That is Moz. Moz is a SEO company, and they're a good source of, of checking out your stats and all that stuff SEO wise. All right. And Brad said, can we start over? I'm afraid not, but we will have an ebook later. And then I got Todd saying, what's a good bounce rate to have? And ultimately, no bounce rate is the best. So I'm trying to think. You want to definitely pretty much name it. You're always going to have a bounce rate, but you just want to beat the bounce rate that you have like as of right now, and that's usually the goal. But as for you've got bounce rate and then you have exit rate. So the best bounce rate you can have is I'm trying to see what the numbers were. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't even think some say over 50% is bad that a bounce rate is. But really, honestly, I don't think there's really not a bad bounce rate. But it's just pretty much beating that is what you got to do. So if 80% your bounce rate, if you've got a 90% bounce rate, that's bad. 80 to me, that's bad. But if you can get it lower than that, some say that if it's over 50, that is bad. So another way to decrease bounce rate is by getting high quality traffic. If they already know what they're getting into before they get to your website, they're not going to exit out. So by getting higher quality traffic, your bounce rate will in fact decrease. Is Yelp free? Nick says Yelp is in fact free, and you can use it anytime you want. They do have paid programs, but you can get most of the benefits for free. Google Plus, is it good to have? Google Plus, yes. Google Business, which is a part of Google Plus, is very good to have. You want to make sure that you fill that out. That will help your listings to be on the front page of Google. And the more reviews you get, the better you are SEO wise as well. So you want to help your SEO guy and get reviews. You are wonderful. What is a good way to get backlinks? That's another question here I got. That is the $1,000,000 question here, Todd. And that is the name of the game for SEO. But let me do something here real quick. Okay, Moz, by the way, is M-O-Z. M-O-Z. There you go. And a good way to get backlinks. Some of the best ways to get backlinks is by getting in the newspaper, contacting bloggers, writing articles, doing that Google alerts. And if someone talks about something in your niche, comment on that. Now, those kind of backlinks aren't the best kind, but they're not going to hurt you for sure. But it does show, in fact, to Google that you are active in your online community and that people do, in fact, know you. Linking with business from your site and they linking back, naturally, yes, that will help you out with your backlinks. Doing, listings, and there's so much that you can do backlink wise. Linking with high ranking sites and writing amazing articles. So really, you've just got to be creative. As really that's all it is to it. It's just you just got to be creative and figure out ways naturally to get people to link back to you. And that's one of the best ways to do it is simply give people reasons why. I mean, you think about Yelp, right? Okay, you've got Yelp. Is the fact that you can embed that people okay. So let me restate it real quick. With Yelp, people work hard just to take their Yelp badge and put it on your site, right? What's amazing is the fact is every time you embed Yelp on your website, you're giving them a backlink, and that's why Yelp is usually number one on every page, is because you're embedding their badge on your site, which helps you with business. So that's the amazing part. The fact is that they have convinced so many to do this, and it's good, and you will make money doing this. Let's see if we got any questions left here on this site. All right, so we're good there. All right, so let's continue here with this. I'm sorry. All right. Here we go. All right, gather emails from clients. That is something else that you can do. and that is to gather emails from your clients. And this helps you indirectly with every kind. That's one weakness I see in every business. You are not think about, you are not collecting emails from your clients. Very few of you are doing that. And I've ran a poll on most of you, and you're not doing this. And the way, and that's one thing, it's one weakness that most businesses have. And the reason that's a problem, the fact is, if you ever want to send a bill, email is the most friendly way of doing that. Having someone to call and beat you over the head with the phone that you haven't paid today isn't the nicest way of doing things. And if there's a better way, email is that way. Another thing with email too is you can build an email list, increase your traffic, send that to a blog post, have them link to that blog post, increase your SEO, gather more emails because you asked for it, and you do it over and over. And that's how your biggest blogs in the world did it, is through email. So by gathering emails from your clients today, you can also pop them in Facebook and advertise to those emails as well. If they have an email registered with Facebook, you can take that email list and advertise through Facebook. Bet you didn't know that. Pump out more business cards. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Well, you did, I'm sure. But there's many ways of doing this effectively, and you may be like lost in the dark on how and who to put out business cards to. If you just start taking your business card and start going down hallways, here you go, take this, take that, take this, take, do that, take this. That's not that's not going to do it. But by you focusing on how many business cards you're going to give out this month and figure what you can do. Okay. And, if you want to go to Vistaprint and get you like, a stack done for like $10, $20, that's perfectly fine for your first setup. But eventually you want to get them professionally done and to look the best that they can be. Because I tell you what, one business card can mean $1,000, can mean $1,000 easy. And you've paid that business card over, I don't know, probably 1,000, 5,000 times over, or whatever the number is for that one business card. But by you giving out business cards to people that really matter, people that you really know, it's like, for instance, once you really, they need to ask for it in a sense. Like, for instance, do you have a business card? This is perfect opportunity to give it out. But you don't want to be too aggressive with this and just start, shooting business cards at people. They don't, they don't want that. But in fact, if you've got a customer already and you're in their house servicing them, you might want to ask, hey, can I put this business card on your refrigerator here, so you won't forget my number? That's a perfect opportunity to expose that to people in the kitchen. So you're like, oh, I already know this. And I know this is just one of the things that you may not be doing this month that you might want to increase. And that's, in fact, give your business cards to people who may need it. And being like, for instance, at a booth, and you're just giving out cool information at a fair or something, and just having your cards there. So this is no biggie. I'm not going to be on this one for long, but you just want to make sure that you have those available and that they look the best that they can look and that they be impressive. And to make sure that your call to action is there, which is your website and your phone number, most important, and of course your website. So if you need any help with business cards, let me know. You got Vistaprint that can help you out, and then of course we lay those out as well if you need any help. But besides that, business cards are no big deal. They're not expensive to make. So one of the cheapest type of marketing, but yet they can be quite effective. All right. You want to add more contacts to network this summer. If you don't keep a list of the people that you are after, for instance, if you've got a humongous college, right, in your city, wouldn't it look good if you service the president of the college? That's one contact. You may want to have a strategy behind just getting that one, because that one contact equals the college, right? Now, I know he doesn't know everybody in that college, but it sure does look good as reference point. Say, yeah, I service the president of, whatever college. I mean, you don't want to tell it to everybody. Like your competition even sniff that, they're going to be on that, like, quick, really quick. But it is a good reference, and it does, if anything, it looks good. The fact that when that guy says, when they ask the president of, wherever, so who does your house for air conditioning, or who does your house for roofing? When he says your name, the conversion rates of that conversation is going to be like super high, because he is, well, the president of the college there, and what he says, people listen to. So by you getting a hold of people, um, in your area who are really high ranking, when they talk about you, it's going to be more powerful. So you want to build a list, maybe have 10 people in your area that you know that would just be amazing if you got them, and figure out a strategy for each person. Maybe mail them a letter, maybe get to know them, maybe bump into them somehow. You want to be like, like spammy or weird, but think of contacts who've possibly been interested in you. You just forgot about them. Gather numbers, create a Google sheet, or a Excel sheet, and think about all the contacts and people that you haven't been contacting lately, and just follow it with a conversation. I'm not going to stay on this too long because I know this is not a hard one. Make sure your site is mobile friendly. Number 11 thing that you need to be doing that you're probably not doing, okay? Because I've seen most of your sites, and a lot of them are not mobile friendly. Well, I don't know, that wasn't too long ago that people really wasn't worried about mobile. I mean, not even 7 years ago, 6 years ago, mobile was not a big deal. But we are in 2015, and Google is making it big deal. If your site is not in fact mobile friendly, your ranking and position goes down with Google, and that's not good. If you want to be on SEO and front page, and your site's not mobile, this hurts. In fact, this hurts you really bad. So by having someone build you a mobile site on the phone as well, you can. And think about this now. Isn't this cool? If someone's looking from a now answer this question. If someone is looking you from their phone, or if someone's looking from their desktop, which one you think the conversions would be higher? Think about that real quick. Mobile will more than likely be higher conversions, because I mean, what else are they going to call with but their mobile? So if you have got a mobile call button there for them, ooh, and your website looks so good, and someone's already referred you before they got to the site, and that call button looks green and it looks wonderful to the punch, and they punch it, and all of a sudden they've got this amazing voice at the end of that. That's perfect there. But if you don't have a call button, and if you don't have a phone number on your mobile site, how are they supposed to call you? They're just going to scan back and be like, oh, I'll call somebody else, because you ain't got a number up. And you'd be surprised how many sites don't even have their phone number at the top. How are they supposed to call you? You want to make sure that's number, because you got to think about it. Why was the whole reason why they was on your site to begin with? It was to call you. I mean, isn't that what you wanted them to do? That is CTA, call to action. And you want to make sure that call to action is call you. Email, not really. You don't want them to email you as much as you want them to call them. Believe me. If someone gives you their number, that means, hey, I'm serious about your services, because I know there's some crazy people out there, but I trust you with my phone number, and that you're not going to spam me like these college loans and these wannabe Google makers who say they're friends with the CEO and all this stuff with Google and all this junk. I'm trusting you with my number because I know you're the real deal. And when they call that number, you know for a fact that you've got a good chance of a lead here. Is there any questions out there while we before we get to the next slide here? Let's see. I've got all my techs have their own cards and hand them out daily, especially when leaving a customer after service. Good deal, good deal. Which is better, Moz or Yext? Ooh, which is better? Well, I'll tell you this. And I'm looking at questions here on the comment section, and it's like this. Oh, Yext, I know the presence is stronger, I believe, than Moz, but yet you pay more. Moz, they're a pretty good company as well. They're both good. To say one over the other, I myself would probably try Moz over Yext first, because it's cheaper and they're doing the same thing, and Moz is a strong company. But if I had an SEO guy, I'd just have him do it manually, because he has a way of knowing which one's consistent and which one's not. So I would probably get an SEO guy, but if you can do both, that would be even better. So probably SEO guy and Moz, or Yext alone without the SEO guy, unless you can afford both. That would be good. All right. Do we have any more questions? Oh, wait. Oh, wait a minute. Can you guys see my my slide here? I've been just a talking. Have you guys been able to see my listen? All right. All right, I was just checking. I just checked there. Okay, so you guys, the slide just went out. So, all right, just making sure that you. So, can you guys see the green slide there now? Is everything good out there? All right. So, I got another question. Is responsive sites good? Now, when people say responsive, sometimes I mean mobile. But I think you mean more of I don't think you're talking about mobile here because you have mobile versus responsive. And the difference between the two is a mobile site is essentially a copy of your website where the server does the work to deliver an optimized site that's smaller and easier to navigate. But the solution can really customize a unique experience for mobile users. It's a good choice when it might be too expensive to redesign responsively. So my thing would probably be mobile is better than responsive when you compare the two because responsive is going to be way more expensive than mobile would be. Which so you definitely okay. Everybody can see it. Good, good, good. All right. So mobile is better because responsive is more expensive, and you don't want to be bound to that expense of a responsive site. Because I tell you this, with responsive is so much more expensive to make a change every time you've got to make a change. Where per se, if you just have a mobile, it kind of flows with technology. It will flow better, so much better than responsive will. And I just don't think it's worth the money. And it's kind of more lean, just not having responsive because I've heard a lot of hiccups with responsive. So I wouldn't do responsive myself. And all your major blogs out there are not even responsive anyway. Your $1 million blogs. So I wouldn't go with responsive myself. And I mean, they're pretty high, really high. So reconsider that one. Okay. No, no, no. Okay. Hang on. Going through my slides here. Sorry. My bad. I must hit the wrong button. Okay, here we go. Number 12, get more press for your site. When I say get more press, and that's get in front of the newspaper. I've heard many crazy things people have done to get in front of the press. I'm not asking you to blow up any buildings or, wreck your car into the pond. I'm not asking you to jump off a building. I'm not asking you to do anything like that. I'm not asking you to swallow fire, which would be pretty cool, but don't try that. What I am asking you though is to try to figure out some way to get in front of the press and actually be helpful. Do something amazing. And there's a lot of articles up there about how to get more press, and it's amazing what you can do and how creative people can get. For instance, if you offer something cool, like something new, um, if you offer something that people's never seen before, like a new tool or technology in your area. I know a lot of, pest control people, because I know there's a lot of pest control people who are watching this. Um, like for instance, termite dogs gets a lot of press because people's like never heard of a termite dog before. And if his name's Toby, the termite dog, something like that, and all of a sudden now the press has never heard about this. So you can get yourself in front of the paper with Toby the termite dog at school, and you can kind of go over preventatives, preventions that families can do, and then call the newspaper over, and You never I mean, it's amazing what you can do and do kinda do things like that, you know? Try to stay in front of you can also write for newspapers. I know some of my people who've worked with me, clients, they actually write for the newspaper. So they're out there writing and they're giving prevention tips in the paper, and a lot of people like that and enjoy that. So you might wanna consider getting with the editor and just talk with them about how you can possibly get in the press. So this one's really a creative one. I've heard people sticking, um, and I don't know how true this is. He took an anaconda underneath a house. Okay, and he called the press and say, "Hey, I'm about to pull out a 12-foot anaconda underneath the house. I'm about to pull him out of this house. You might want to come see me do this." And the press came right over, so and so animal control, whatever, is rescuing an anaconda out underneath the house. And the question was how the anaconda got there. And eventually they figured out that he did it, but yet they thought it was funny and they published it, is what he says. Um, it's just hard to believe, but people, I mean, it's kind of funny. So it worked for him apparently. So what I'm not saying throw anacondas under people's houses, but I am saying get creative, do something good that gives back to the readers who are reading it. Don't do it just to get advertisement, which is good too. Upgrade your graphics and impress more. You have different ways of getting better graphics, but one thing you're going to do is graphics on your website, graphics on your card, graphics on your flyer, graphics, vinyling on your vehicles. I've already said that. Graphics on everything that you do. You want to make sure that you put in top dollar because people will judge you by your graphics, all right? People will judge you from the outside because that's what we do. We judge based on the outside most of the time. And if your site looks like junk, they're going to think you're junk as a company. And you could be an amazing company. You just don't have a good graphic designer or you just didn't, think about putting the money there. Well, you definitely want to get that done and make sure you put some, major cash flow to your graphics. And the thing is, once you get a logo design, you can use it over and over and over again. But you want to make sure that you get someone good, get someone who's got good graphics and really just pleases the eye with the things that you put on your flyers, on your business cards, your website, and so on. And I believe good SEO guys, and this is something else, good SEO guys know good graphic art workers or the R1. Because today, if you don't have good graphics, I don't know how you're going to track good backlinks if you can't get people to read your own article. So that was just a side thought for you. Be more resourceful via social media. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that one, huh? About doing that's gonna be yeah, it is. It's gonna be quite helpful for you if you're resourceful and you're helping people. And I give, for instance, don't put your the phone numbers on Facebook and Twitter really don't belong like in your statuses 24/7. Okay, you want to make sure that in fact that you're putting out way more resource, being way more helpful, putting up way more pictures and talking about your day. With smartphones today, it doesn't take much before you're being quite resourceful in your area. And one thing that you can do to do this is take plenty of pictures, write plenty of articles, kind of talk about if you see something cool on the job, take a picture of it and talk about it, and that just brings them closer to you because they see you as a human and not as not as a commercial every time they get on Facebook. Because if you're being commercial like on your Facebook, you're gonna get unliked. I know I will. It's not. I mean, I don't want another commercial. I just want to know you're there when I need you. When I need you, I'll call you. I know exactly where you at. But with these social medias, it just keeps you in front. And once you advertise those, that's how you get new leads. But with the like pages and stuff, you've got those likes are just to keep those hot leads there. So when they need you, you are there. Let's see if we have any questions here from anybody. I donated to a few. Okay, so this was a question I got here. I donated see, to a few silent auctions for our community. Is that a good way to get free press? Okay, so anytime you do a good deed, is always going to be good press. Anytime you give out to your community, it's always going to be good. It's always going to be, it's always going to look good on your part. Um, no, I'm not, you get kind of, so yes, it is a good way to get press when you donate to these places. You want to make sure that you are, you're doing good things for people, but you don't, you want to be careful with that because I know you can get burned when people think you're doing things for a dollar. But if you do things indirectly and do in fact help people and you do it in the name of your company, and you give, major money to these things, yes, these are good ways to get press. But ultimately, you just need to make clear that you're doing this to actually help that person, that you couldn't give that kind of money unless you had done it in fact from your business. So yes, you just want to make sure you're careful because if people even smell that you're doing this for money, it can burn you. Okay. So you want to be careful. This is a tricky game. A lot of people, get burnt bad if people think that you're doing things in the name of money. But yeah, I mean, most of the time, you just want to make sure that you're being careful, and letting people know that in fact you do care, and that's the main thing. Um, and let me see here what we got. I think we got one more here slide here. Of course, build your email list, which we already talked about this about building your email list and taking that to the next level and collecting emails and make sure to have all your contracts where you get the email for billing and stuff. So just want to remind you about the email factor. There you have it. This has been Market 1K with Luke Guy. We just went over the list here about, all the things that you can be doing. If you are needing more help with graphics and things, let you know I do in fact do graphics. We build sites. We help with SEO. But if you can't if you don't think you can afford something like this and you want something a little cheaper, we do in fact have a Marketing 1K course, which will help you with all the things that we've mentioned on ways how to all these questions that you're having. We pretty much answer all of those with our Marketing 1K. So if you like, we have the button to the right of you here. I don't know if you see that. Let me see what that's at real quick. It should be to the right of you, and it's called free trial, I believe is what's there. And by you clicking the free trial button, you're able to get in for $1 for $1. That was the minimum that we could put on there. So I actually need to change that to not free trial but join. But anyway, if you want to become a part of that Marketing 1K course, for $1 a month, what you can get in for $1, and after that it's $48 a month. But inside that course, you're going to get access to, how to build a site for like under $5. You're going to get access to how to do your own SEO. You're going to ask access to the greatest of listings. You're going to get access to email marketing, how to run Facebook, and pretty much I talk about my success with marketing and what I'm doing to rank people and to get people more business. So all of that is at the free trial button there, which I should definitely change that because it's not free. It's $1, which is pretty close to free. But anyway, my bad on that one. So yeah, if you have any questions, I'm gonna hang around just here real quick. Please ask me away. I'll be right here for the next few minutes to go over any questions that you may be having. All right. So I got a question here from Michael. Question: how was getting national traffic with a blog about the top pest control companies bring local hits to his website? I don't know if his is the people who are listed on the article or to people or to Jerry. Okay. And it's like this. The way this is going to help, because we're actually we're planning on writing some articles which is more zoned into the state. But the way this helps you, in fact, is that you just got a sweet backlink. Okay. You just got traffic. And the fact is, you just got a social media piece that you can share. So the benefits of someone being a part of an article like that is one, you got a strong backlink. Two, you've got something you can share on your social media, and the exposure of the article for some were 10 times by you saying, hey, look, we just got some press. And I looked at some Facebook pages that in fact did that, and I looked at the behind the scenes, and these guys were getting 10 times the clicks, 10 times the exposure. Um, so Yeah, directly it doesn't. It doesn't in fact like bring leads, but it does help with you locally with the backlink, helping you rank with Google, and it did help with social shares on your part, and in fact, getting you out there because in fact you just got. I mean, an article like top pest control companies in America. That's going to get people to click, and it in fact did get people to click, and it's helped a lot of people get potential leads because in fact we talked about top pest controls in America and it got everyone backlinks. So that was a cool deal with that. Any more questions? Okay. Okay. So how is getting national traffic with a blog about pest control companies bring local hits to his website? This wasn't about so much just Jerry. This was about everybody with the local hits. But like I say, it was more indirect than it was directly on this strategy with this article because we was trying to see, trying to test the waters for something much bigger. This one performed quite well, and we're trying to take this a step further. So that was more indirect, but we plan to get some more direct ways. So since that did well, we are trying to go forward with that. Any more questions? Were they local? But were they local? And I think, and I get this is the question. So if some of you guys are confused, we did an article uh, for Pest Cemetery. We were trying to help him with his traffic. We were trying to help everyone who was involved with the article. And the Michael was asking, how does this help local businesses when the article is in fact national? And once again, this is an indirect piece. So the way it helps you locally is if you have social media on your side, which I hope most of us do. And if you in fact have social media, you're able to share this article, and what it does, it increases your exposure. So if you advertise that piece, if you advertise that and you pointed money to this article, what you just did was you increased your credibility because you were named among what is supposed to be the top, I think it was 18 pest control companies in America. And we had reasons why we chose them as the top 18 instead of choosing, the factories in the business. We chose ones that had proven themselves, the ones who had given us feedback, talking all, we had our reasons why we chose them. And by doing that, it increased your credibility, your credibility. It helped you with ranking because you're getting links from places. Because you got a link from one of the top pest control companies in America. Or in the world actually. So by getting that backlink, that really helped you as well. So also gave you something. The benefits are endless. So this was more of an indirect strategy, not so much directly. And Michael said, very good presentation tonight. I would love to see more on local Facebook advertising. And that is something that, because I know we talked about a Facebook marketing that we talked about. And that's where Patty got her good eye, where she got her 3 leads the next day. And that's 900 shares and her $20 was the name of that one. But we will, in fact, try to talk more about local Facebook. That is something that we can do. So is everybody good tonight? Any questions here? All right. If not, if all are good, please, in fact, if you get a chance, you might want to check out the free trial. Let me see if that's here real quick. The free trial button. Make sure that's still there. On the right here. And if you click that and you pay the $1 here by clicking free trial and you click and you go ahead and pay the $1, you'll have access to all my Marketing 1K stuff. And if let's say you don't like what you see, let's just say you just, I already know all this, which I'm pretty sure you won't, but let's just say that happens. Let's just say that's there. If you want to cancel, you can cancel that first month. No questions asked. I understand that sometimes we get into things and we want to know. I've done this $1 deal because I want you to be able to try it and to love it and stay with us because we're creating content almost on a weekly basis, things for you, not just the webinars, but inside information, things that I spent a lot of time into as well that are even better than these webinars and can help you increase your marketing wise. And you can take it at your own pace. So to have you join us would be great, a great resource. So if you would join that, and that would definitely be great, and I'm sure it would help you in your business as well. So I guess we're all good here. If you need any help, let me know. I'm right here if you have any questions. We're going to try to turn this into an ebook here soon. And like I say, thanks for having me tonight on the webinar, and I'm glad that you came. And you guys have a good night. If you have any questions, please comment and message me, by the way, as well if you need me. Thanks.